We see what we believe in, and we believe what we see. Hello, dear friends. Today we will talk with you about those entities that are invisible for human eyes, but their very significance for a human soul and his energies. Today we will talk about nature of the entities that can have different names and unpleasant words. We will not voice them today, and this topic is very actual as never before, because the planet has moved to the new dimension of life, more subtle space, in which these entities live, and people can identify themselves with these entities, interact with them, and then they don't realize what happened to them. Why do they have so many problems in their lives? And how does this effect spoils their lives? What happens to them at nights when they cannot sleep and someone or something chokes them? Sometimes people really wake up in the horror at night. So friends, people really need to learn much more on this topic, and as always we will not only figure out with information, but also I will give you recommendations and tips how to protect yourself from these entities and how to get rid of these energy entities. What do you need to do so that they will leave you? So friends, to figure out with their nature, with their natural state, and we need to do this because only when you have knowledge you have created your own position of resistance or fighting with them. If you don't know about them, it's very easy to manipulate your mind and your life, and you will be without protection, and it will be easier for them attack you, your energy and your souls, and you even will not know what to do with it. So their nature, from what source they came, how were they created? To understand this matter, first of all, you need to know that everything that you see and that you cannot see, all spaces, dimensions and states of lives, or planets, galaxies, solar systems, universes, local systems, constellations, the suns, are created by the Creator. This is what you need to realize. And as you know, the nature of the Creator is love, purity, light, kindness, mercy. It is a feeling of sublimity, a state of peace, joy, happiness of being. This is the state of the Creator. His creative power creates only the beautiful and wonderful things. But my friends, how can you understand this beauty and goodness if you do not know what bad things are and what the negative means? Therefore, the Creator also created His creative creation, a manifestation of His nature, and at the same time He created something opposite to His nature. Everything that is not His state. And understanding that there is such a negative, charged energies and processes that in principle is the natural state of this energy astral entities, the Creator understood that you need to have this choice in creation of your life. That's why He created the laws of life, and the first law is be perfect as I am. It means that He gave to all live beings who were created by His creative power to have the ability to become such perfect as He Himself. That's why there are a lot of creations in the cosmos. All of them have their own tasks. In addition to this, He created another law that also is the basis of evolution, creation, and progress in life. It's the state that creates every moment in your life. Free will, the right to choose. And no one has right to forbid you to make your own choice in your life. No one can do this, has no right to do this. Those beings who do this are responsible for that. They experience very serious responsibility, and they experience it in their own inner states, feelings, and their destinies. I really want them to understand this. So friends, this law, free will, the right to choose, allows you to choose, to make a choice in your life. And thanks to the process that there is the creator and there is the opposite state, you call this the evil. And thus, in this comparison, you understand your own nature and the nature of God. Only when you can compare these two states of life. Also, friends, I want to tell you that the processes of choice and the processes of creation exist only in the 7 super-universes that have time and space continuum. In this way, all live beings in the cosmos that are created by the Creator have choice. Because of this divine law, free will, the right to choose. Even the most highly developed beings have the right to choose both good and evil. So, we understood with you that the Creator created goodness, the positive processes and energies, and the evil, the negative charged processes and energies. But since this planet is very destructive, very fallen, and live in very degraded state of life, your planet is known as a planet of killers, because humans of this planet killed the Creator, the Jesus Christ. That's why you suffer so much on this planet. This planet has become famous in space in a bad way. And on the one hand, the evil is something that hinders you in your evolution and development. But on the other hand, exactly this evil contributes in your evolution. And this is a very significant process and very obvious process on such a planet as ours, where the fall occurred and which are very far from the center of the universe. So, as we understood that the evil, from the point of view of the science, is the negative charged energy and state of life. It consists of programs that, on the subtle energy state of life, creates visible shapes and visible reality. And people like you who are developing and exploring the life, this deep knowledge, you should always understand that any thought, any emotion is a program that combines in itself the sacred symbols. The sacred geometry contains the crystal lattice that creates and unites atomic and molecular structure. And thus we see that the movement of these particles are moving along these symbols, sacred symbols, and they create the reality on the energy subtle levels first of all, and then of course this visible material reality, dense world. And you see this reality, this material world, and you believe in it, that it's real, it exists, and you believe in it only because you see this physical level of life. And exploring, learning the cosmos and the life and the science of this world also say that all processes that take place with humans first of all happen on the subtle energy level. This level is the energy of the ether, the energy that is not materialized. Although this energy can be manifested in this dense material physical state of life. So friends, everything that is visible, manifested, the life itself, first of all, initially forms at the subtle energy level, energy space. You call this etheric or astral space, but every space of the cosmos is divided into 7 layers. That's why this astral space also different levels and cells, honeycomb cells. This honeycomb, this is also molecular structure that creates and contains programs of life and plasma of life. Also, there is mental space, mental dimension. This is the space of your thoughts and certain spiritual aspects of your development when you reveal and create a certain inner strength, and through your mental activity you can create your spiritual space of life. As a rule, it is visible and real for those people who started their self-development and self-improvement, the path of returning to the source from where they came. So we'll figure out with you that the life exists not only on the physical level but also at the etheric level. And also we realize that initially the life is created exactly on the energy subtle etheric space. And in the lower levels of this ether dimension, with the vibrations with negative charge, the life is manifested that we call the heavy astral or low astral. Life in the astral space. So in this world that is around you, it happens right now, so it doesn't matter that you need to go or fly somewhere, it is next to you. It's among you and in this physical space. And for this matter, for this energy processes and entities, there is no space or distance. It exists near to you, even next to your chair where you are sitting, and always and in the future you interact every moment with all dimensions, with all levels of life, depending on your inner state, to what level of vibrations you correspond to. It means in what resonance you can enter. It depends on your emotions, thoughts, your desires, your aspirations, your inner state, who you are in reality. Many people now used to pretend, and they turned their life into such a deceitful process of existence that they even don't know by themselves when they lie and when they are truthful. This is exactly this astral state of their thoughts. The thoughts of these people are in the astral space. It means that their thoughts, their mental activity in a heavy astral, and the feelings, the emotions of these people also exist in the low heavy astral, where there are only negative charged energies. And your emotions and thoughts that you emit, by the way, you create these energy entities by your thoughts and emotions. In the subtle etheric space, astral space, they are visible, they have visible shapes, living beings, that you call entities. And so, friends, when you live your life and very often radiate low vibrations, lie, trickiness, deception, self-interest, greediness, fears, you generate these subtle energy states. And these states in the etheric subtle level instantly turns into the visible and energy entities. And of course it needs energy to continue their existence. You can say that, but it's just only emotion. Yes, but emotion that is filled with your energy, with the energy of the children of the Creator. You are also creators, since you are children of God the Creator. It means that everything that you think, everything that you feel, with all these states you create the life and the shapes in the subtle astral space. This is the source of these entities. You are their parents because you give them lives. You give them your own energy. So you are their breeding ground. And since this energy is intelligent, because when you think your thoughts, you activate your mind. So your thoughts are the parts of the mind, and your mind is the part of the higher mind. That's why when you have your opinion, your thoughts, worldview, you create the visible world because you emit the energy of the ether. Of course, it materializes due to the atomic molecular structure in the visible form. So it does not matter what you generate, what you emit, you are also creators, since you are children of God the Creator. So these forms of your emotions or thoughts have your energy. These entities are eternal because you create them with your own energy, and your energy is eternal. You always existed, you will live forever. So your nature allows you to create. That's why now there are so many these energy entities, because people create them unknowingly in unconscious state. And now we see that social media, television, the life itself and the society impose on you to be angry, to be aggressive, to blame someone, to be in depressed state, to be scary, to live in fears. So you create these entities with your destructive emotions and thoughts. It turns out that these entities are very intelligent, because your energy of mind is intelligent, and you create them with this energy. They also intelligent, and they start interact with you. Although you have limited vision, because your ability is closed to see the astral space, and thank God that you don't see this, because if you could see this space, you would become mad, because it's the horrible space. Although in the past, such a person, Robert Monroe, lived, and he carried out the astral flights, so he could see the astral space. And after these astral flights, he was restoring where for a long time, because he saw these horrible entities. So I don't recommend you to carry out and practice such astral flights, because now there are so many these astral and destructive entities. So I really don't want you to have even more problems because of them. So we figure out with you that these energy entities are created by people themselves, since you are creators and you create them with your thoughts and energies. So it turns out that these entities feed on your energy, so they have not only visible shapes, but also your programs of your emotions and thoughts that you are emitting every moment. So their nature is your inner states. And since they are intelligent, if they have their mental structure, thanks to which they can unite with each other, and thus they become strengthened, stronger, and bigger, and then they can influence on a person who created them to the creator. In addition to this, these energy entities have the hierarchy. How there is the hierarchy of spiritual beings in the cosmos, they also have their own. And it depends on the creators who created them, humans or another alien beings who are also present on this planet, and they create their own astral entities, and they are main creations in this astral space. And friends, that as I told you, that astral space of life is a real life, a real visible life, that full of visible shapes. How this visible world also, you can see different forms, and the astral space also have even expanded life in visible forms. So if you could see this, you would see so many shapes and things that you wouldn't explain to yourself, that you could not comprehend, because your energies that you emit have different structures, and that you don't know in full, since most of people are undeveloped, and they live in a limited state of mind, unfortunately. And now most of people live in such a primitive state of mind, and this is very serious problem of humans, because they don't want to evolve, develop, and expand their minds. So we see that the entities of this astral space, etheric space, to what our planet has moved to, and it means that the energy of the ether has strengthened, and it much faster started to materialize a material state of life, situations, events, your inner states, thoughts, and emotions. They come true in your reality much faster. And it means that these astral entities have become much closer to
your human life. And since most humans degraded, they have lost their moral values, the most precious inner states, and they attached themselves to the matter, to material things and property, that they even will not be able to take themselves after this life. No one took their power or property after death, but now it has become the most aspect of your life. And it's the indicator that most of people took the side of the evil, that negative charged state of life that we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast. And of course, it means that such people interact with astral, heavy astral space. And these energy entities who live there, they unite and then attack and influence on the minds of such people. Sometimes my learners tell me that some force um, attacks them or threatens them, or they feel the pressure and they cannot resist this. Or they can hear the voice in their heads that is very destructive and harm them, push them to destructions and destroy them. And what should we do if the planet has moved to the dimension, astral state of life, and there are more such energy entities, and they have become much stronger, that they even rules the minds and emotions of people and the world itself, all areas of our lives. What will it come to? And of course, understanding that this process is strengthening and becomes deeper and stronger and more complicated with every day, we understand that there is the free will of humans, but also of these entities. We see that the process of our life has become very complicated and hard. So the tips and recommendations: what to do when you feel this some energy entities starts to attack you. First of all, they're afraid of such prayer as our Father or our Lord. Is the cosmic prayer that exists on all developed planet where there is the development of energy. So this prayer, our Lord, carries in itself very high vibrational creative energy, positive charged energy and information. And these astral entities are afraid of this energy, high vibrations. And when a person believes in the highest creative power, in Creator, and he corresponds to it, what does it mean? It means that to have faith is not enough. People need to correspond in their inner states, in their feelings. Because many people can say very beautiful words, but very often we don't believe them because we see that they tell the same thing, but they act in another way, in the opposite way. Of course, we see that such people serve to this evil, to these dark energy entities, destructive entities. So what should you do when you feel these attacks or provocations of these entities? It means that you feel destructive feelings, fears, depression, or aggressiveness. Then you always need to follow the divine laws, divine truth. And when you feel very serious attack, you need to pray this very serious prayer, my Lord. And of course, my learners know more methods how to resist these entities, and I can say that they attack my learners only at the beginning, initial levels of the development. Then my learners are raising, they are practicing with serious powerful energy mechanisms. They work on themselves, on their thoughts and emotions. They start to control them. Of course, they realize how their life is arranged and realize and follow the divine laws. And then, of course, person act in the right way. And then these entities leave such a person, they cannot harm him. And of course, with their energies, with the energy of the subtle bodies, they raise much higher, at the higher level where these entities cannot live and withstand. Of course, then people live in more free, calm, and peaceful. I cannot tell that these astral entities leave my learners forever. It's impossible. And even Jesus Christ was lured and attacked by these astral entities. Because since the matrix system and the evil exist on our planet, and these entities will exist and live here and attack humans. But those people who are developing here spiritually and obey and follow the divine laws, they can resist it. And if in their souls, in their thoughts and emotions, they are pure, divine, and conscious, and kind, and filled with love, then these destructive entities cannot harm them, even if they want it. And now, friends, I want to answer your questions because I know that you really suffer from these processes and these entities. So you can write your questions. Now we will give the word to Sergei Arkadyevich. But first, I also want to tell you that all diseases, all your problems, even disasters and catastrophes on the planet, are the results of the actions of these entities. But they cannot do nothing without people. If these people with whom these situations happen do not give them their energy. Because these entities are alive energy substances and visible forms of life that are created by humans. And they need your energy to live and act. And since they're created by your energies with a negative charge, negative vibrations, and they cannot live on the high vibrations, positive vibrations. That's why they can be present only on such planet where there is the low level of development. And the evil exists only in the 7 super universes where there is this low free will, the right to choose, when you need to have this choice, because only when you can compare this destructive and creative states, you have the choice and you can evolve and develop. So in the central universe and the paradise, there is no evil and these negative processes and energies and entities. So now I'm ready to your questions. Sergei Arkadyevich will voice the question. Hello, friends. First question is from Victor from Dnipro. He asks, from where a person receives a very strong strength when he is releasing from the astral entities in the form of exorcism. This process shows you that these astral entities really have very strong force field, and they took this power from you, from your energy. And I really carried out such processes, sessions with people, then it's really horrible. People can hold this person, and he is so strong, and he was screaming, and it's really very hard to hold him and restrain him, and we really hear even not a human voice, because this entity had accumulated the power, the energy of this person, and such a person who feeds these destructive entities, who created and maintained them, he had lost his energy because he becomes ill and very weak. And then when this entity becomes bigger, stronger, and when it completely possesses the mind of this person, then it demands the life of this person completely. And since this entity are intelligent, they use your energy very smart. They can convert your high vibrations into the low vibrations, and thus it takes even more energies from you, and a person becomes very weak and powerless. And a person does not realize this, but this entity is very smart and it knows how He can convert your high vibrational creative energy into the low and destructive vibrations. And usually this process lasts not several days, but months and years. And people who live in such a state, they suffer very much. They have a lot of problems, sufferings, and diseases. And now this process has become so strong that these entities can completely suppress the willpower of people. Many people come to us exactly in such a state. They have insomnia, they cannot control their thoughts and emotions. And I even don't tell about controlling of the life events, although they do this but unknowingly. And we really need to help people and to get rid of this state. But these astral entities and such people are very strong, very powerful, that we really need to take effort to um, renovate and restore such a person. By the way, do you know that there are many religious organizations and sects who are secret organizations? They have their own gods, but do you know who help them? These astral entities, they are their servants. These entities carry out the commands of these people in the sects, although I will not call them humans, because a human being will never apply the energy and efforts to kill and destroy other people. These are people who have sold their lives and they ceased to be children of God and the creators of their lives. And the next question. The next question is from Maria. Tell us, please, can someone send such entities to another person, and that we can call this a curse or a bad eye? Friends, both. It can be so, but usually it's another process occurs. When someone controls his inner states and thoughts, he does not allow to this entity to control him. Then his entity that is very smart starts to interact with the entities of your relatives, and your relatives make scandals or attack you, try to provoke you, destroy you. And what does it mean to send the curse or bad eye? And you can influence it, and especially small children. And recently we had the live streaming where I explained to you that you all interact with each other energetically, and you exchange your energies at the subtle level. And since a person has destructive energy, he is aggressive, it means that these aggressive entities live in him and with him and interact with him. And of course, since they are smart, they temporarily can interact with other people, but nevertheless they're attached to their creator, to a person who created them. But they can create different difficulties and problems for you. First of all, they convert your low vibrational positive energy into the low destructive energies, or to create in you destructive feelings. How do they work with you? Through your thoughts and your subconsciousness. They activate the programs of sadness or fears or aggression or hatred from your subconsciousness, destructive programs with negative vibrations. You remember about these states, situations, and thus you start emit this destructive energy, and through the channels they steal your energy. And after this process, after such a thought or feeling, after 3 or 4 minutes or 10, 15 minutes, you feel that you have lost your energy, your strength. You feel sadness, depression, and apathy. You don't want to act. Also, you can feel pain, because when your high vibrational energy, positive energy, it's your normal state, passed away, it means that it was stolen from you. Then your immunity decreases and infections, viruses started to activate to be activated in your body. And of course, your cells lack energy, but viruses and infections are spreading in your body, and then you get sick. And the entities are interested in this even more because from your diseases and pain they also feed the entity and they are growing and become stronger. And then if someone provokes you, the entity of some person, then you lost your energy, it fed on your energy, and of course the entity is happy when you get sick because till you will have this disease, all this time this entity will feed on this energy till the death of a person. And having died, this person cannot get rid of these entities too, because he goes to the subtle energy space of life and they continue tormenting him in that energy state and space. You call this space the purgatory or hell, but this is not the place but the subtle energy state of life. And another question:
Человек попадает в состояние этих сущностей, туда, где эти сущности, и они продолжают его дальше мучать. Эти пространства называете
Limonov asks,
адом. Это низкочастотные
why thinking
жизни.
about evil, I create evil, and it means that the creator also is so angry, but it's very difficult to believe in it that the creator can create something destructive. Of course, the creator cannot create the disgusting, horrible things. He just created the negative charged energy. And you, as children of God, as His creations, with your own free will, you can choose this negative energy and create the evil. And the Creator does not create the evil, and in the central universe, where the Creator lives, in the paradise, everything is perfect. And all beings who live there, they also don't choose the evil. That's why they live in the perfect state of life, because they are very developed and conscious. But in the 7 super universes that are located around the paradise, for your evolution, there are many kinds and types of living organisms and spiritual beings and creations. So for your evolution, you need to have these negative charged energies. And when some planet for the creative process, this negative charged energy is needed. For example, when a planet has completed the evolution, then exactly this destructive, negative energy disintegrate this planet and it comes to decay. So you can ask, is it good or bad? Of course, it's good, because from these particles, new forms of life will be created in the cosmos. So friends, to figure out with this matter, you need to know more about the Creator itself. And He has filled this planet with such a greatest, highest state of greatness that all that humans need is just to become developed and not to live like savages and not to believe only in one word, but try to delve into knowledge. You know, friends, now I'm conducting the course Applied Intuition, where I teach my learners to perceive information intuitively and even feel people are and define whether they lie or tell the truth. So I explained my learners that three highest and greatest powers forces manage the life on our planet. First, this is the spirit of truth. This energy was brought by the Archangel Michael here to our planet. He lived in the body of Jesus Christ, and he carried out his mission, 7 assignments on our planet. And when he completed his mission, his life, he returned to the paradise, and then he brought this paradise energy to our planet. People who interact with this energy, they try to delve into the knowledge and to cognize and find the true knowledge about everything, about life and their nature. So if you have such a desire, it means that this energy, spirit of truth, interacts with your mind and soul. The second energy, this is the creative spirit. These are informational waves that are created by the life carriers, the highest spiritual beings. And this creative spirit, this highest energy, contains 7 adjutant mind spirits. This is the spirit of knowledge, counsel, courage, understanding, of worship to the Creator, and intuition and wisdom. So when a person activate and reveal all these states in himself, his mind and soul starts working on these highest vibrations. So can some destructive entity harm such a person? Of course it's impossible, because a person has reached a very high level, and he spent a lot of time and took efforts to reach these levels, because he chose this spiritual state, and of course these highest divine energies interact with him, with his mind and soul, and thus he reveals in himself new abilities and the highest states of his divine nature. But many people don't want to develop, or they live in a primitive state of development. They think that if they have read some book or attended some training, it's enough and they are developed and intelligent. Friends, you even don't imagine what is real development. And it's not enough just to attend some courses. For this, you need to work and study a lot. And this is the greatest and very serious work. And one more greatest energy that allows everything in life to be manifested, invisible, and it permeates all spaces of life: spiritual, mental, etheric, and mental space. This is the energy of the life, energy of the Supreme Mother. You call this energy the Holy Spirit. So 3 energies of the highest frequency, the greatest energies. This is the spirit of truth, the creative energy, and the energy of the divine life, the energy of the Supreme Mother, Universal Mother, the Holy Spirit, the energy that manifests life and make it visible. Scientists who watched the cells of our body under a microscope, they saw the white light, the radiation, the shining of every cell, every alive cell. This is exactly this Holy Spirit, the energy of life. So to understand the life and the Creator, you need to delve into this deep and true knowledge. And of course, we see that on the planet there are a lot of illusory directions, fields of knowledge, and religions. But we see that these people have not become kinder. Yes, they receive some new programs, but they still use each other, manipulate each other, deceive each other, try to steal more money, but they don't correspond to the divine state. And why exactly in the sects are forbidden to tell about this knowledge? Because if you knew everything, you would live free life and happy lives. You will enjoy this life and will adorn the world with your own life, and will not do everything just for earning money, because this is the self-interest. It's not a normal state of life, but many people consider this as a norm, and they used to live like this. And of course, if you will ask, do they have entities? Yes, of course they have, and very strong ones.
Да.
And the next
Это
question.
примитивное очищение.
Oksana asks,
Эфирное тело очищается
the astral
именно
body of a person can be cleansed by water, because when we take shower in the evening we feel easiness, and when we drink water we also cleanse our body. Yes, you clean your astral body with water, but it's the primitive cleansing. And the most important for you is to cleanse you emotionally, because your astral body is the body of your emotion. So if you change your emotions, lighten your emotion, cheer you up, for example, in the shower, then of course it will help you. By the way, I can tell you that the water is the state of the ether that contains and consists of 3 states of life simultaneously. And the next question from Olga from Israel. Can the entity from a dead body, deceased person, to go to a live person? Yes, it happens sometimes, especially if a person dies who carried out the magical rituals. Such a person had very strong, powerful astral entities. And of course, these entities understand when a person dies and undergoes its transformation after death. Then these entities can choose to stay here in this space, because when a person dies, he goes to a certain energy space, and that's all. Everything is defined. But here you are mixed. There are kind, creative, positive peoples, and very angry and destructive. So, of course, these astral entities have more possibilities here to provoke kind, positive people and to get more energies. So they have more opportunities to get more energies here. And the heavy astral in purgatory is overwhelmed of such destructive entities. The next question. Victor from Dnipro asks, if you could not manage your emotions, could not cope with your emotions with some relationships or communications with a person, then what should we do after that if we feel repent? First of all, my friend, you need to forgive yourself. Only then, when you will forgive yourself for your mistake, and we cannot live, humans cannot live without mistakes, because this is how the life is arranged here with destructive and creative processes. So having realized your mistake, you need to forgive yourself and then ask for forgiveness of this person. You need to do this during this life when you are alive, but it does not matter whether a person is alive or dead. When you forgive yourself, you deprive your astral entities of your energy. To forgive yourself, you need to realize who are you, and then you immediately understand that you are a child of God. And it means that you have the same power as the Creator has, and it means that I am also a creator, and I can create different processes. And now I created some destructive state, but I repent, I realize this, and I annul this program, and it will never exist. So I forgive myself and ask and apologize this person, and so that it will not live with me in the form of entity. I wish to this person the greatest richness, to be God, to live in happiness, in love, in understanding and joy, to realize his true divine nature, take the path of evolution, and this is the main purpose of our life. To pass this way of evolution and to reach the highest level of the development, and let it be light in his soul. That soul, you will disintegrate this program, you will annihilate it, and you replace it with this positive, highest divine states that you wish to this person. And then these entities will stay hungry because you will not give them your energy. The next question, Alexandra asks, while a person experiences panic attacks, these entities also interact and engage. Of course, exclusively these astral entities create such processes. Since our planet has moved to this fourth dimension, this is the etheric astral space, and this is the space of the lower astral, and it's overwhelmed of these destructive entities. And a person with panic attack, he feels this states of aggression, fears, and panic, and he cannot cope with himself and control himself. Of course, the entity control him at this moment. But friends, I can tell you that you can do everything, even control yourself in your fears and panic, because you are creators. You have the power of God. That's why you can do everything. But as I told you today, that now you live in a very aggressive society, and since you exchange energies because you connect to each other, and of course you interact with such destructive energies, you cannot resist, and you don't want to learn how to resist this influence of other people. That's why you have no strength, you're weak. This masses of destructive people with the negative destructive energies, of course, attack you, influence you, because you connect to the destructive energies, and it creates in you the state that you call panic attacks. This is the reason, friends, why you really need your spiritual development. Realize this, that this is the one way out, the path of salvation, the sole method to save yourself. There is no other method on the planet. If you think that to do this easily, I will go to hypnosis to remove these programs or will put the chip inside my body, it will not save you, friends. You will be in another trap, and that's all. But if you want to be free, to love this life, to enjoy this life, to overcome all these difficulties, sufferings, and changes on the planet, you need to work on yourself. And we have no time left, because for this you need to have years, because this process takes time, and this is it takes years, because you need to work on yourself, change your inner states, and for this you need knowledge, and to comprehend, understand, and apply this knowledge in your life. For this you also need time, and you need to expand your consciousness. It is expanded due to the studying information and true knowledge. Of course, I understand that many people are lazy. Many of them say that maybe I will study if it will be free, if I will not need to pay for this. Friends, I can tell you that in the cosmos, the most precious, the most richest thing is, an expensive thing is knowledge. And the spiritual beings know this clearly, because they know that knowledge gives them possibilities. Because when you have knowledge, you can do anything. You can reveal yourself an ability and know how to do anything. So when people say that, yes, I would learn if I had money, it just the indicator that you are not ready to this knowledge. When you internally are ready to this highest knowledge and highest possibilities, the simplest thing that God could give you is money, to create the situation when you will get this money for your development. This is the simplest thing for God, believe me, friends. So when you really are ready to this knowledge, everything is given to you, all opportunities and money. But when people say that, yes, I have no money, that's why I will not go to study, you need to become more honest and to delve into yourself and define what you really lack, and you lack a real desire to develop. Because if you really had this desire, the spiritual beings would give you all opportunities. They would find you a job or opportunities, because this is your main task, to possess this highest knowledge. But you need to deserve this too. Everything should be deserved in our lives. So it's better to earn and deserve this and pay with money. Elvira from Tambov asks, the fear is the main weapon of these entities. If the person does not have fear, then he will not be attacked. I cannot say that this is the main thing. But if we will talk about the cosmos, there is only two states: love and the opposite state, fear. And then the fear contains sadness, depression, grief, envy, aggression. Why do people envy? Because they're afraid to lack some opportunities and or that they will not succeed and reach the results. So yes, the fear is in the basis of all the destructive states. And when a person does not have fears, it's impossible to influence him. And do you know when you have no fears? When you trust the Creator completely, when you know that you follow His laws, that you accomplish His will, when you know that you are the purest person in your soul, that you have no material attachments or to any results, you work, you create your life, you travel, you experience your life, experience different situations, create families, earn money, but you don't have attachments. If you need to share something or to abandon something, you leave it immediately. And then, of course, for you it's very easy to maintain your inner conviction and inner faith and strength. But it's based on these three greatest energy that I told you: the spirit of truth, the creative spirit, and the energy of the cosmic mother, the supreme mother spirit, or the energy of Holy Spirit. This is one and the same. So on these three forces, three energies, the spirituality of humans, your development, and your moral values are based, and the evolution on this planet itself. So these three greatest programs that contain a lot of programs. For example, the energy of the truth. What is the truth? This is the greatest knowledge. This is the program that carries in itself the information about everything in the cosmos. It seems that it's just the one program, but it contains everything, the information about everything. So people who is searching for truth, this energy of truth reveals in them through their thoughts, dreams, books, events, the true knowledge to which they was striving for. And you know, friends, you always are searching for help from external environment, but this help is always within you. And you can be helped only in the case when you are earned this, when you deserve this help. It means that when you have this corresponded state inside. And what does it mean? One more tip to you: if you want to be happy, healthy, prosperous, and loved, reveal and activate in yourself such a desire to help people and with everything without waiting something in return. And to do this not because your teacher told you, but reveal and create such a state in yourself, the desire, when you want this by yourself, to help other people without waiting anything in return. So do this. Of course, I know that it's not so easy, but it's possible, friends. And you will have the great results. Sergey Arkadyevich, the next question. Irina asks, can the ethereal essences, oils, protect us from the astral entities? Yes, at some extent they can, but it's very primitive and very weak power. These astral entities are very strong, so what can these essential oils can do? Yes, they can kill some bacteria,
Это очень слабенькое.
infections in the air,
Ведь сущность это разумное существо. Ну, сильное, там сильное поле, там сила, сильная
but
разрушительная сила. Ну что может сделать ладан? Ладан очищает,
so
скажем, убивает
what can the
бактерии,
oil or
вирусы. Я очень люблю
incense
этот
do?
ладан. И
I
иногда
like the
помогает
frankincense
разжигать
very much,
и
but
количество
just
ладана
because I like this
увеличивается.
smell, but the cleansing
Это я делаю
from
так, когда
astral
использую
entities
этот
and your
запах
protection is
для
very a
очищения.
serious energy
Это очень
process.
серьезная
But many
энергетическая
people
работа.
just want
Понимаете, люди
to
всегда
do
хотят чего-то,
everything
чтобы просто.
in the
Вот
simplest way,
просто.
to go
Куда-то
somewhere
сходила,
to
что-то
burn some
сказали,
oils
или
or
маятника взяла,
to
там сказал мне маятник.
receive the highest
Друзья
knowledge
мои, вы
with the
что,
help of
думаете?
pendulum. If you
Вы
think that it's
думаете, что
very
высшее знание
easy
это
process to
просто?
get this
Вы
knowledge,
что? Это самое серьезное, что может быть.
and it's not,
Никакая наука с этим не
and
сравнится.
even
Наука
your
это вообще,
science
это
is just
определенные
the small
аспекты,
part that good
изымаемые
scientists
высшим знанием.
um,
И то
discover
есть, как
from
оно,
this greatest
это
cosmic
не,
knowledge.
вот это
Even the
показано
scientists
так,
tell
а
that
это
some
точно так
part
не можем объяснить.
of the processes we
Оно
can
это
explain,
слабая
and
сила.
another states we
Они просто не
cannot
могут
explain.
объяснить этого.
But
Они просто не понимают
they
природы
just don't
высшего
understand the
материального
highest
состояния.
matter and
Поэтому
processes of
они
our life, and they think that it's
думают
impossible.
одно.
But it's
Это
possible, friends, because the
тонкая материя
subtle matter
первичнее
energies
физического вещества.
are primary than the
Ну,
physical
Сергей Аркадьевич,
matter.
будут сегодня вопросы?
Do you have
Мгм.
questions, Sergey Arkadyevich? I want to figure out. We told about our emotions that create astrals on the subtle space, and that they are disgusting. But in addition to this, we have positive emotions when we are happy, when we are rejoicing. So people with negative emotions create horrible, disgusting entities, and happy people, they also create entities. Maybe some good and light and kind. So does something exist at the subtle energy level that can resist these destructive astral entities? Something good and light.
Конечно,
Yes,
есть.
of course it
Сами по
exists,
себе
and this is
энергетическое, духовное
your
тело.
uh,
Смотрите,
true
когда вы
nature,
живете,
subtle energy
где бы вы
nature,
ни
and
жили,
your strong subtle
когда вы
bodies, because
попадаете в
you live
низкие состояния,
simultaneously
любовь,
at
радость,
all levels of reality. And when you maintain the highest states of love, happiness,
любовь,
compassion,
постоянно
mercy,
не ради себя, ради
acceptance,
других,
when you help other people, when
чувствуете любовь.
kindness,
Вот если
when
у вас
it's
есть
real, not when
возможность
you
это
pretend for money,
наполнять
but when you really
этим
have
низким
this
устремлением,
unconditional love,
и крепко
then
ваши
in your seventh
энергетические
dimension,
связи,
your
то они не
subtle
дают вашей
bodies
сущности
are expanding and
разрушиться.
strengthening and growing, and they
Вас света,
allow you
эти
to
сущности,
resist these
они
destructive
очень,
entities.
знаете, что
Your
боятся?
spiritual
Света
bodies are
вашего.
the bodies of light,
Когда
and these
вы
entities are afraid most of all
становитесь
of your light.
в телах,
And when you are growing
естественно,
and become
здоровье,
stronger in your
естественно,
subtle bodies,
здоровье. И когда
you are
смотрите
shining
на
with the
вас,
light. You
на ваши
become
тонкие
the
тела,
carrier of the
оно
light.
сияет,
And when we
вокруг
look at
вас
you,
сияет,
at
вокруг
your
вас
subtle bodies, you are
запах
shining
сияет.
around
Сейчас
your
очень
head, the nimbus
энергетическое
is
и
shining.
духовное
By the way,
развивание
now
включается,
many
особенно
spiritual
это услышать.
people
Особенно
for
это
spiritual
услышать.
development
Вот раньше мы работали с
activate this
информацией с
instrument,
уровня
divine
на
instrument.
высшей ступени мы
And I also teach my
получаем
learners at the
информационную
second level we
и
activate this
радиоэлектронную
mechanism.
систему.
And in the past it was difficult, but now
И
this
радиоинформационная
mechanism is
тонкая
the
и
channel with
духовная
the
развивается
spiritual
очень быстро.
level, spiritual space
Стали намного быстрее
activates very
развиваться.
quickly,
За счет чего?
and
За
such
счет
people
энергии
evolve very quickly
высшего плана.
thanks to the energy
И
that
это
they
отражается
gets from the
в вашем
spiritual
вашем
level.
милосердии,
And of
ваша
course,
радость, счастье ваше, ваше
at this spiritual
наслаждение
space,
жизнью,
exactly your
излучение
kindness, your
жизненной
goodness, your
правды,
purity, your love
чистоты.
is
Вот
reflected.
это
And if you
дает
are such people,
крепкое
then your
движение в духовном
spiritual
И
bodies
вы
are
уже
expanding
остались своей
and
энергетикой, она
growing.
вас
And then, of
поддерживает.
course, astral entities are
Знаете,
afraid of
призывайте еще
you.
более хитреньких
Then,
entities,
of course,
еще
they
более
ask
сильных.
stronger
И это
entities to
начинает вас
attack you
провоцировать,
and to provoke
если
you, but only
вы
when you lose
потеряли
vigilance. So what do you need in this moment? One more advice to you. You always need to define when the ego, this astral entity thinks, and when are your thoughts. And have you never thought about philosophy about such a thing, that when a baby is born, when it's growing and go to the kindergarten, now such a conception imposes on children that he has no gender, that he is it, not he or she, male or female gender, but it's the entity without gender, because the system identify the children with the state of the entity, because these entities have no gender. So yes, the planet has moved to this space of these astral entities, and yes, there are a lot of difficulties, and it will be more in the future, but nevertheless we will overcome all of this, because we are the highest creation on this planet, the children of God. The next question Alexandra asks: from what age the entities appear in people? Children receive them from their relatives, or they create by themselves. Yes, children get astral entities from their relatives, and usually they start provoke children when they get souls. And it starts even from the stage of embryo. And you can notice then when a woman is carrying the baby and she worries, then the embryo, the baby, also starts worrying. It means that her worries are reflected in his body. So we can say that her astral entity provokes also the baby. And then when baby is born, astral entities, they start attack her baby. Why? Because the baby always lives on the energies of his mother. That's why we see that she feeds her baby with her energy. That's why we see that a calm, joyful, and positive, kind mom has the same baby. If the mom is very nervous, scary, anxious, or aggressive, greedy, envious, and hateful, has the same baby, also very nervous, very anxious, and scary. So this is one of the indicator that mom feeds her baby with her energy. Then when a child is growing up and at the age of 7 gets his own astral entities, then at the age of 14 a child becomes independent energetically, and then he interacts with his astral entities. Have you ever thought, why do children become so aggressive exactly at the age of 14? When they become adolescents, they change a lot in their inner state, an emotional state, exactly at this transitional age. First of all, of course, these are changes of the emotional state and hormonal state, and it activates the psyche and at the same time astral entities, and thus creates his astral entities. Of course, then these entities try to do everything to control his mind. So friends, to avoid this, you need to develop your children, teach them, and of course we realize how much it is important. So I want to tell you that on September 1st we will open our online school, primary school, that will be the first international school that will develop children. First, children of the first 4 grades will study there, and then I think that all grades. And I thank the Creator for this miracle that He fulfills for the whole humanity, since our future belongs to our children. So all these opportunities are fulfilled only thanks to the Creator. And my learners open this school, people who are very trained and prepared, who radiate light, love, and kindness, who are selfless people, who bring this world light and love. and knowledge. Let the Heavenly Father bless us this greatest work. The next question, Isolda from Netherlands asks, if God is evolving, then when did he start his evolution? And also, if the Absolute is everything, then why it is also evolving? The Absolute is not evolving. The Absolute is the static state without any movement, and the Creator has the cycle way of his evolution. It means stages of his evolution, and there is such a term as breath in and breath out of God. So, inhale of God is the process of creation, movement, development. It is evolution. And when everything is ending, because first the cosmos is expanding with a very high speed, and sometimes when scientists say that such a planet or the galaxy is flying with such a speed that they measure this, it's not true, friends, because our scientists don't have such technologies that can measure the cosmic speed. So the Creator expands the cosmic reality, the cosmos. He is creating the life in the cosmos. But then the time has come to such a process when he is folding everything, when it has reached the highest level of the development and evolution. It means that this stage of creation has ended, and then everything is rolling up and is returning again to the center of the cosmos, to the paradise. And those creatures, beings from the galaxies, solar systems, and super universes return to different levels. Someone to the paradise above, someone returns to the central universe, someone to the perfect planets, and God, the Creator, having fulfilled his task, his mission, shows the Absolute how the process and this cycle of the creation was going on and what are the results. Then God has a rest, and those beings also on their own planets, they stay in the state of peace, calmness, joy, and enjoyment of their life processes, achievements that they had during these stages of their evolution. Then the next explosion occurs, the next inhale of God, cycle of the creation and evolution. And if in this cycle you made the choice to be humans, to evolve from the lowest level beings in the cosmos and ascend to the perfect state, then in the next cycle you may choose another state, another path of your evolution, and also evolve. You will evolve forever, every time experiencing a new evolutional program. You know, friends, to evolve in the cosmos is so interesting, is so amazing. We can compare a little this process with your traveling. When you travel to different countries, places in the world, you enjoy this, you are surprised, you explore these new places and nature and experience different forms of life. So when you are evolving in the cosmos, it's also very interesting for you because you visit different worlds, planets, you meet a lot of different creatures, see different possibilities, high technologies. But every time you need to learn something new. That's why knowledge is the most precious thing in the cosmos, and you will always be learning, because for every cycle of evolution you need to get new knowledge. And for this, of course, you need teachers. That's why at every levels, at every worlds, there are different beings, lower and highest life forms, and there are teachers and there are learners. Just teachers have another form of life, but everyone is evolving and working on continuation of this life so that the evolution will continue. Sergei Arkadyevich says, before reading the next question, I want to ask people not to be offended, because there are so many questions, and we simply cannot physically ask all the questions. Natalia Vladimirovna will not have enough time to answer all the questions, so the assistants try to choose questions that are as close as possible to the topic of the broadcast. Therefore, do not be offended and next time ask questions closer to the topic. Also, questions should be interesting for everyone. Remember it. We try to select them for each topic. So the next question is from Anastasia. Sometimes you look at people and see envy, anger, and coldness in their eyes, and you begin to feel discomfort. Is it possible to understand by looking that a person is filled with these essences? And I will slightly expand this question in terms of the fact that it is possible that there are essences that live in people, but what if people who do not have entities but themselves, let's say, are not good? Or there is a category of people who are very weak. They try every time to show themselves angry, to show that they are so strong, but in fact they are just very vulnerable inside. Is it possible to determine this? Of course, it is possible. Each person should skillfully do it. But I will argue with Sergei Arkadьевич. People who are in a depressed, aggressive, or envious state, in resentments, due to the different reasons, it doesn't matter. They are influenced by these astral entities. They provoked them to be such people and to live in such feelings. This is the influence of these astral entities. And you can ask that it means that every person who has anger, resentments, grievances has these astral entities. Yes, friends, of course he has. This is exactly that destructive state that is not divine. And you are the creators, since you create them. But you can stop to feed them with your energy and then they will disappear. But they will still live on the planet, because I told you that the main entity of the planet has created the matrix system. Yes, friends, and this system rules the planet and humanity. It has a lot of assistants and it has hierarchical pyramidal structure and it rules everything, all aspects of our life: financial, legislation, social environment, government, natural resources, even the air that you breathe and allows you to breathe such a composition of the air or another, and very soon you will pay for the air that you will breathe. The system of the matrix controls everything, and it has a lot of assistants. And since the humanity is not developed, it's very easy to control it. If you were all developed, would these evil spirits play such a cruel joke on you? Would there be so much grief, death, suffering, and pain? Of course, you would not allow this. Your development, your intellect, your spiritual energy state would be so strong that these evil spirits would escape very quickly. But now you themselves allow them to influence you and control you. Yes, my friends, unfortunately. To tell about it and realize that every person has such entities, it's the catastrophe. And we see these destructions, wars, and hatred, anger, envy everywhere, and all these sufferings. It's true, friends, and we see it everywhere. The most important question: how much are you ready to realize this truth? But this is your state. If not, it means that you are controlled by these entities. If you don't have the sane state and estimate and realize the real situation and your own life situation. But you're children of God. It means that you need to learn to do this. Yes, everyone has these astral entities, but there is the difference that when you start your spiritual, it means energy development, then these entities leave you, but they go around you and wait and try to find a very tricky approach to you, creating in you different destructive states. For example, you can blame yourself that maybe I do something wrong or I meditate in a wrong way. And other people have reached the higher level and they succeed more. It means that these destructive entities have found such an approach to you. This is them who impose on you such feelings, emotions, and thoughts. So your task is just realize that these emotions and thoughts are not yours. It is this entity inside of you is thinking these thoughts and force you to think these thoughts and identify yourself with these thoughts. Because as soon as you identify yourself with these destructive thoughts, this astral entity gets the access to your soul and starts sucking your energy immediately. This is how it works. But when you realizing that something occurs in your head and it is wrong, you tell yourself, stop, it's not my thoughts. This is this entity that is everywhere provokes me to think these thoughts, but they are not mine. I don't want to think them. I don't want to take someone's states. They are not mine. My thoughts are the thoughts of calmness, goodness, joy. I am a creator. I am God because I am a child of God. But these thoughts are not divine because they are destructive. So it's not divine, it means that I also does not have any relation to these thoughts and programs. And then this entity will instantly leave you and you will stay filled with energy, strength, sane state of your mind, stability. You will be joyful and delighted. And you feel easiness in your soul instantly. Because when this entity creates in you destructive thoughts, you feel a pain and tension in your soul. This is the first sign when this entity connects to you and starts to suck your energy. So, friends, be very vigilant. And it does not matter what is your profession, at what job you work, what are your positions or degrees. It does not matter at all. Every person has such the influence and experience all these processes and influences of the matrix. And since the matrix controls the minds of people, it controls their lives and hence controls their social life and the evolution, or rather, not evolution but degradation, because it leads humanity to degradation. This is the real reality of our life at the present days. I think that today I've explained to you it in very simple words to make everything clear to you, because there are so many words, a lot. There is just no understanding of these words. Even those people who came up with them do not quite understand them correctly, and we will speak simply and clearly so that you can understand everything. When you understand, you will know it. When you know, you will have conviction. When there is conviction, you will believe it. If you believe in it and are convinced, you will apply it in life, and then we will change life for the better. The time is already coming to an end. I see watches there. See how fast time flies. But I give the floor to Sergei Arkadyevich. He wants to voice more questions. I will read 3 short questions and with 3 short answers, and we will finish the streaming. Okay, the first question. Is a poltergeist a manifestation of entities or is it something else? Yes and no. Poltergeists are such beings that we call intermediate beings. The intermediate beings have 2 states, the primary intermediate beings and the secondary intermediate beings. The primary intermediate beings were created by the planetary commission of the spiritual beings that came to our planet many years ago, and then they became fallen, those who created all these destructions on our planet, and then they created their descendants. Now their descendants rule the planet. But the main alien beings were extracted from the planet. Now only their descendants are here, and they have the highest positions in their governments. So that commission of the alien beings created the assistants, the primary intermediate beings. The secondary intermediate beings are the descendants of the Adam and Eve. After the falling of the Adam and Eve, the descendants of the Adam and Eve, their children, for example, Sumerians, who were the last descendants of the Adamites. Also, you know that the Hebrew people were the descendants of the Adam and Eve, but Now on our planet there are no that descendants, only the second branch, you call them Jews. So the descendants of the Adam and Eve understood that at that period of time the fallen alien beings ruled on our planet, and the main of them was the planetary prince Kaligestia. He ruled the planet, but he was completely destructive and fallen being. So these descendants of the spiritual beings, Adam and Eve, left this planet after their death, and they didn't leave their children. So now these Hebrew people are another nation. It was created by the Node and Kaligestia, the fallen beings who created their descendants. And now you call them a Hebrew nation. Now there are a lot of them on the planet, since Node had been creating this race for a long time. That's why they have their own gods, rituals, and laws. They have everything separate. Where does it all come from? From that fallen alien beings. They created this philosophy on the planet. Why exactly these people have certain financial opportunities? Because Node, their progenitor, was the chief financier on the planet at that period of time. So there are primary and secondary intermediate beings, and sometimes primary intermediate beings can sabotage or educate some people, and sometimes they can manifest themselves in this state, material world. What does it mean, the intermediate beings? It means that they live in this middle state of life. They have not reached the state of the angels yet, but they are not humans. That's why they live in the etheric state, and they live on this planet and will stay here until they will take the path of the right spiritual development. And the destructive ones who will stay on the planet, they will be extracted from this planet after the completion of the quantum transition. The fallen intermediate beings, like that planetary commission of alien beings. And in principle, all fallen beings were removed from the planet when the Archangel Michael defeated Lucifer and Kaligestia, his assistant Delegestia, and Satan. It means that he removed them from our planet and all fallen beings, also Node. But Nod, during his reign, left his descendants, his race, who worshipped Nod and they fallen evil gods. They were called fallen gods. But this is the history. So sometimes these etheric entities can be visible, and by the way, now many people have started to see these etheric entities who sit on humans and suck their energy or control their mind, their thoughts, or create some pain. It means that if there is pain in some place in the body, it means that the entity sits and sucks the energy there. Because they see the weak places in the human body, because the cells of these organs radiate low vibrational energy. And low vibrations are their nutrition, their breeding ground. And the human body weakens even more. That's why they are afraid of light. That's why you need to work in energy practices, methods, and fill yourself with the light. Only then your health is restoring. So in general, my friends, the time has come to survive. Only developing person will be able to survive. But a person who does not want to develop, who wants to remain a savage on the planet, is both alive and dead at the same time. Sergei Arkadyevich says. The express response failed, so let's finish the streaming. Because if I ask a few more questions and you answer them as quickly as you do, we are going to be sitting here for a long time. Friends, how can I not answer you? You ask very serious questions. I just wanted short yes or no answers. No, it's impossible. Friends, you need to know everything. You need to get explanations. Because when you know everything, you can understand everything. When you have understanding, then you have conviction and faith. You believe because you know it. So only when you have knowledge, you can figure out everything, and then you will get understanding. and the real faith, and you start applying this into your life. And this is the basis of your development. Your development is built on knowledge. You need knowledge. But look, friends, all true knowledge is hidden on the planet. People are not given this knowledge. Why? Because if you will know everything, you will be developed. If you will know everything, you will be free. You will know that if you will choose the evil, you will do it consciously and you will get the repay, you will get suffering. But you will know that it was your choice. You will understand it clearly. That's why no one is guilty. But since you lack knowledge, you choose everything unknowingly, even evil. That's why experience very suppressed and hard state, and you are in delusions. People really live in such massive depression, aggression and horror. But everyone is to blame for this. Every undeveloped and unconscious person who rejected his own evolution. My friends, so Sergei Arkadyevich says, let me ask one more question. Yes, let's stay longer. If I ask God and try with my thoughts to create an angel-like creature that would protect one of my relatives, let's say give him such a task to protect my relative so that he warns of danger or in some way like an angel guardians protect. Will such a creature be created or will it be delegated to guardian angels? It will be delegated to guardian angels. In general, my friends, such creatures have long been created. Remember how the Creator told you, before you ask me, everything has already been given to you. Just turn to the Creator and learn to take it and enter into resonance with it, so that it is manifested in your life and you have this protection. All people who have souls, who have not sold their souls to the Matrix and who are not working for the Matrix system, have guardian seraphims. And guardian angels always protect them from all serious dangers. It's true. You even don't have to ask them. They exist for this purpose. They have chosen you and they have been sent to this planet to accompany you, to guide you and protect you. All that you need is just at least a little to correspond to this greatest protection. They care and love that they express to you. You need to deserve this care and attention, at least a little. And if you deserve it full, then of course even more developed spiritual being will come to you, will accompany you and help you in your life, will be more attentive to your life and express even more love and contributes in your evolution. Why? Because your evolution makes the greatest contribution to the evolution of this being. So his evolution depends on your evolution. And if this highly developed spiritual being manages to raise you at least a step higher, then this great spiritual divine being, having returned to its spiritual world, also rises a step higher. That's the evolution, friends. In space, everything is one. All the planets are connected to each other, and the evolution of your planet leaves its mark on the evolution of other planets. That is why not only the fallen alien beings who enslaved this planet have now arrived on the Earth, but also spiritual forces have arrived, great forces of light that protect those who are worthy of this protection. Well, my friends, let's say goodbye to each other until our next meeting, next conversation, our process of awareness and understanding of the correctness of life. Good luck, friends, and may the light of my soul fill the whole world, and may the light of my soul fill your souls and give you opportunities for goodness, bliss, love, inner silence, happiness, wealth, success, good luck, and prosperity. Be happy, friends, and up to new meetings.